Hello and welcome to my video all about how to knit the reverse stockinette stitch stripe. This pattern is really easy and is perfect for beginners because it only consists of knit stitches and purl stitches. As you can see in this photo of the right side of the knitting, it has a base of stockinette stitch, which you can recognise by the V-shaped stitches, and then of course there are the raised reverse stockinette stitch stripes. Whenever you see reverse stockinette stitch combined with stockinette stitch, it's in order to produce a bold contrast in texture, which is exactly what we have here. And just as a reminder, stockinette stitch is made up of knit stitches on the right side and purl stitches on the wrong side, whilst reverse stockinette is made up of purl stitches on the right side and knit stitches on the wrong side. And that's what creates this great contrast. You might notice that from the front, these stripes look a lot like garter stitch, and you are correct. The difference is that if we use garter stitch, they wouldn't stand out as much, they wouldn't be as raised, and also the wrong side would look a bit different. Okay, so to begin, you just need to cast on any number of stitches. I personally cast on 14. Then for row 1, which represents the right side or the front of the knitting, you need to do a knit row. So that's just one row of knit stitches. And then for row 2, which represents the wrong side or the back of the knitting, you just need to do a purl row. So that's one full row of purl stitches. Always remember that for knit stitches, the working yarn needs to be behind the needles away from you, and for purl stitches, it needs to be in front of the needles towards you. And then you just need to repeat those two rows. So for row 3, it's another knit row. And for row 4, it's another purl row. And then for the last 2 rows in this 6-row pattern repeat, we're just going to swap the order of the rows. So for row 5, we're going to do a purl row. Normally, when the right side or the knit side of stockinette stitch is facing you, as it is here on the left, you would be knitting a row. But obviously here we've reversed the order in order to make a reverse stockinette stitch stripe. And then for the last row of the pattern repeat, we're going to do a knit row. And that's it, that's a 6-row pattern repeat. And every repeat creates one stripe. To get a better idea of what it looks like, here is a small sample I've knitted. You can see the bands of stockinette stitch on the right side, as well as the raised reverse stockinette stitch stripes. And on the wrong side, you can see that you've got bands of reverse stockinette stitch, and you've got stripes that sink into the knitting that are made of stockinette stitch. So obviously both sides are not the same, but they both create a very interesting striped texture. And that's it, that's all there is to it. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and thank you very much for watching.